Blog Talk Radio.
Writing your book is the easy part. Promoting your book so readers can find and purchase it is the hard part. Welcome to the Author Chat Show, hosted by author-publisher Lynda D. Brown. Follow us at www.facebook.com/authorchat. And to contact the show to promote your book, contact me at theauthorchatshow@gmail.com. Stay tuned and listen to today's show.
And welcome to the Saturday edition of the Author Chat Show. I'm your host, Lynda D. Brown. My guest today is author Twana Lawler. She's going to be my guest to discuss her book, My Life. We'll be right back to chat with Twana about her book after a word from today's sponsor.
PrimeStar Publicity and Public Relations is a full-service firm ready to fill the needs of their clients. Owner Helen Cook has more than 32 years of publicity, public relations, advertising, and marketing experience, and she focuses her professional talents on working with her clients' strengths to create customized, strategic campaigns, whether their needs are great or small. Radio, TV, print, internet, publicity, marketing, creating a social media presence, branding, client positioning, author tours, speaking events. These are just some of the services PrimeStar provides for their clients. For a complete list of services and other information about the company, please visit our website, www.primestarpublicity.com, or email Helen at helen.cook@primestarpublicity.com, or phone 903-654-0938. PrimeStar's home office is located in the Houston, Texas area.
All right, and welcome back to the show. For those of you just tuning in, my guest today is author Twana Lawler. Twana will be sharing with us about her book, My Life. This is the first time that Twana has been on the Author Chat Show, and let's bring her on with a warm Author Chat welcome. Twana, welcome to the show.
Thank you. It's nice to be here.
It is our pleasure to have you on the show. Since this is your first time on the show, why don't we get started by you telling us a little bit about yourself?
Well, as you know, my name is Twana Lawler. I am 54 years old, and I'm an author, poet, playwright, screenwriter, and now I'm dabbling in writing lyrics. So I get tired of things after a while, so I want to do something new. And I also do motivation speaking.
Oh, great. Okay. So you're very busy. You're an author. You're a playwright. You've had 2 plays that you've written. Who Did I Marry, starring Terry Vaughn and Tommy Ford. And those of us that are part of my listening audience, I'm sure, are very familiar with both of those actors. And God's Precious Jewels, starring Robin Gibbons. So you're a very, very busy, very busy lady. Plus, it looks like you also have 5 grandchildren, and you're just living your life, aren't you?
Yes, and I have, actually I have 8 grandchildren. I raised 5 of my grandchildren for 10 years. But
oh, wow.
I have a total of 8. I have 7 girls and 1 boy. So it's a total of 8.
I'm so jealous. I just have 1. now, Twana, your book is actually an autobiography about your life and some of the things that you've experienced. Why don't we go ahead and get started by you telling us as much about your life that you're comfortable in sharing?
Well, I'm pretty much open. In the book, it tells it all. So it's been turmoil and a lot of heartache and pain, but I made it through. It sorted out when I was 12. My father committed suicide, and that was confusing to me because I didn't know and I didn't understand why he would do that and leave us. I have 3 younger brothers, and I'm the oldest. I'm the only girl. So I was like, daddy's baby. I was his only girl. So when he did that was shocking. I was like, why would he do that? But it was a lot of reasons, some things that was going on. And I think he may have been a little depressed. So, and it took me a while to understand it, but as I got older, sometimes I still have, my ups and downs about that, and I, only had 12 years, but I remember those 12 years, and, they're not lost memories, and I think about him a lot still today, and I'm like, if he's seen what I was doing and all the things I have accomplished, because, it was hard in the beginning because I was defiant, I was hurt, I was a child, and I didn't have a relationship with my mom like I did with my dad. And she treated me differently than she treated the boys, but I think because I was a girl, and I think she just didn't know how to do, like she didn't talk to me about things and about woman things and all that. So when that happened, things happened, I didn't know what was going on because she never talked to me. I'm thinking I'm dying. So she never talked to me. But and we never was close. Now, she talks to me now, but we're just not close as a mother and daughter should be.
Right,
but at 14,
now,
14,
can I ask you a question?
Yes.
Were your mom and dad together when your father committed suicide?
Well, they was together most of my life. But when he committed suicide, she had left him for another guy. And that guy moved in the same day we moved. And we were going back to live with our dad because we didn't know this guy. We were like, he's a stranger. And she's going to let him move in. So she had been messing with this guy for a while. And the guy knew my dad. I think they were friends. So, my dad was already depressed because he had got laid off his job. He was head chef at the Holiday Inn, so he ended up getting laid off. And he was sad and depressed. So I said, when I got old, I'm like, she left him when he was down, and that's not right. Because that's not right at all. And he committed suicide, but I ended up finding out recently that was, my brothers knew, but I didn't. It wasn't because she left him. It's because she took us. Because we were going back. So that made me feel even sadder.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, wow. And then after the loss of your father, you then endured a teenage pregnancy. Is that correct?
Yes. I did it on purpose.
Oh, dear. Tell us about that.
At 14, I was having a lot of issues with my mom. And she was like, wouldn't let me do anything. Like, she was overprotective, like I couldn't go with friends. And when my dad was alive, I was able to have sleepovers. I was able to go to the skating ring, but when he passed, I wasn't able to do anything. I just had to stay in the house all the time, so I was getting depressed. And she eventually, my grandmother said, let her go and have friends and, go out, let her date. I was like 14, and this guy was liking me. And so we started dating, and then she had my aunt get me on birth control pills, and I was a virgin, was not thinking about having sex, and that devastated me because I was like, she's the mother. She should go with me. She's busy doing whatever she's doing. And as my aunt taking me, and I'm like, what am I going to the doctor for? So I had no idea. Nobody explained to me what was going to happen. I didn't know what a pap smear was. I did not know. And that kind of made me mad. So she was policing me every day to make sure I was taking the pills, and I'm not even having sex. And so I got mad, and I stopped. So I would put the pill up under my tongue, and then I started messing with that guy, in which we was dating when I was 14, And the whole time we didn't have sex because I told him I didn't want to have sex, and he, you know, he was like, okay, so he never tried to touch me. He never tried anything for a long time. But when she did that, I was like, well, you telling me I can have sex then. And so I went ahead and did it. I got pregnant and had my oldest daughter at 15. And then I mean, it was just like hectic out. And it wasn't a problem with my daughter because now I'm like, I got somebody who loves me. So I'm a child. I had a child. Had nobody to talk to me, to tell me, this is what you do this. This is how your life is going to be. Nobody, no, right. Because I didn't know any better because I didn't have anybody.
Yeah. Wow. You know, Twana, do you see some of the things that you dealt with growing up happening with some of these young ladies out here now? A lot of them to me seem totally lost. The parents seem to be involved in their own lives and not really paying attention. Do you happen to see that where you are now?
No, not now.
Okay, because where I'm at here in the Missouri area, I see it every day, and it's a little scary. Where it seems like a lot of children are just kind of left to come up with their own devices, so to speak.
Yeah, now I see that in the 5 children that I raised, their mom got them because I got sick, and I had permanent custody of all 5 of them, but they had to go back because I couldn't take care of them. Now she got them back, and I see that with that. It's a whole total different from the upbringing they was getting with me, with their mom.
Right.
Their mom is streetwise. Everything is sell drugs and do everything that's criminal. And those kids are being involved in that. So, yeah, you made a point right there. So I have it in my family. So.
Sure, absolutely. Okay, and then after the pregnancy, and then you had your daughter, then apparently a sexual assault took place. Tell us about that.
Well, the sexual assault was not until I was like 21.
Okay.
And the guy and by that time I had 3 children. So because I had a second daughter, I got married to the guy. I got pregnant by, and I had 2 daughters, 2 oldest daughters by him. And then we ended up getting divorced because he started beating me. And so I dealt with it for a year, but one day he kicked me down the stairs, and he ran down the stairs and started kicking me with steel-toe boots on. And, I mean, this man was controlling, jealous. He was everything. He was like everything bad, nothing good. He was, like, very mean to me. And, you know, he wasn't like this in the beginning. After we got married, he changed. And so after I left him, and I ended up meeting my 3rd daughter's dad. He ended up doing the same thing. And I found out he was on drugs, and he was stealing my money, and I was DJing, and I couldn't ever do anything because he would mess it up for me, and want me to. He was starting to get controlling too, but I started putting I got a backbone, and I put him out, so I left him alone. But then that's when I was, like a year later, I was sexually assaulted. I was laying in my room, and I was asleep, and all the lights was off, and I woke up, and this guy was on me, and I didn't know the guy, but I used to see him walking past my apartment all the time, but I didn't know him, and he was on me, and he raped me, and I was trying to get away, and he wouldn't let me up or anything, and then when he got done, I didn't know what to do. It was in the project, so, and I was not raised in projects, and my daughters, we just felt like we were outside. So if I had reported it, it would have been a lot of backlash. So I just didn't report it. I didn't report it, and I didn't tell anybody for a long time. But it was like bugging me, and then I started drinking beer. I didn't even drink or smoke cigarettes, and I started doing that because it was taking that memory of that away, because that was horrible. You know, every day I would cry, and people would ask me what was wrong with me, and I say nothing, and ain't nothing wrong. You know, there's nothing wrong, but it was. I was hurt, and you know, it just my life has been. That's why the book is titled My Life, because
from tragedy to destiny.
Yes, exactly, and that's what it.
Right.
That's exactly what it's been, from tragedy to destiny.
Right. And you know, I'm a firm believer that the enemy knows what God has for you. So I think in the early part of your life, and I'm not talking about you, I'm just talking about good people in general, they tend to go through really horrendous things. But if they just hold on and trust God, one thing that you put in your author bio was it was not so good in the first half of my life, but the latter is greater. And for those of that are used to listening to my show, my listening audience, which are a lot of it is Christian based, we really hold on to that scripture about the latter rain. We trust God that if we just keep that faith and Twana, I mean, I haven't experienced some of the things that you have, but it is so hard. But you can't do anything but hold on and just trust God. And thank God that you did, because for those that are listening, again, the title of the book is My Life. The author is Twana Lawler, and actually it's My Life from Tragedy to Destiny. And I want to talk about that because you held on long enough to see God turn things around in your life. So tell us about what happened and how things started turning around for you.
Well, I had surgery in 1999. And by that time, I'd have been raped twice. I'd have been beat in two separate relationships. I was in horrible relationships. I ended up getting married a second time. Now, he didn't fight me, but he was mentally abusive. And I divorced him, and it took him 4 years to sign those papers because he didn't want to divorce me. But, you know, after that time, all this long a taking mess, I had became really strong, and then everything I had been going through. So it just made me stronger. So in 1999, I stopped having sex because it would hurt. So I was having real bad menstrual and stomach pains, and I went to the doctor, and they said I need a hysterectomy. And so I had that surgery, and mind you, before then I was going to clubs, I was drinking, because after the second rape, I really started drinking beer heavily, and, you know, to get drunk, like to get really, really drunk. And because that one, I don't know, it like I forgot about it after. I just remembered it like recently, but I had forgot about it. But that was kind of traumatized me worse than the first one. But after I had that surgery, I was at home in my bed, and I was crying. And I was crying out to God. And at that time, and I put that in the book, I was going to church like some people do. I was going to church. I had praying hands on the front of my car. But when I leave church, I'm going to the motorcycle club, and I'm going to drink a beer, and I have my cigarette. And that's what I did every Sunday. And went to church every Sunday. But that one day I was in my bed, and I just started crying, and I was hurting from that surgery. And I was like, God help me. And the promise I heard, it felt like somebody leaned over me in the back of me. Because I was laying in the bed, like they bent over and whispered in my ear and said, you're going to be okay. You're going to be all right. And that day, I put down those cigarettes instantly. I became celibate. I stopped drinking, and I just started writing. I started writing all the time. I started doing the poems first. And then, you know, after I did the poems I had a big stack of poems. And I was telling my daughter, I said, I got to do something else. So then that's when I started writing plays. And then one of my plays won, it was my first play. And play third in a gospel stage play contest. So I knew that I had the gift. But then I ended up meeting this minister. He telling me he wanted to marry me. And, you know, and at that time I was celibate for 2.5 years. He's telling me I want to marry. We talked for a long time before we met. It was long distance. I kept thinking he we met on Black Planet. It was MySpace because Facebook wasn't out then. It was MySpace, and he seen me on there. And I had a book out from Darkness to His Marvelous Light, and it's like a fiction. So that book was out, and so he was talking to me about that book and telling me he was he played music and everything. So we talked, and we became real good friends. And then he was like, I love you. I want to see you. I'm ready to relocate. I want us to get together, and and I believe in him. And so I ended up meeting. And he didn't touch me for the whole weekend, but then the day when it's time for me to catch my flight, then he was begging for sex, and I went ahead and gave in, but I told him he had to wear a condom. And he said, I got one, but when he got done, he didn't have a condom on, so I kind of thought something. I was like, I hope this man didn't give me anything. And then I felt so guilty because I was happy being celibate. I let him manipulate me, and I was happy, and I was like, I felt like I was cheating on God. I felt so bad. I was like, I cannot believe I did this. I was on the plane crying, and then when I got home, this man never called me again. And I started having these symptoms, but I didn't know, like, my throat started hurting. And we didn't know why. My daughters were living with me because I had the grandkids, and we had moved from Kentucky to California. And so we were out. They would get me cough drops, and I was eating cough drops back to back. And then the sore throat went away. Then, like months later, I started gaining all this weight. I mean, I got kind of big for my height, and we couldn't figure out why. And then I got a rash on my foot. And little things, and then a year ago passed, and maybe my stomach will start hurting, and the doctors kept thinking I had kidney stones. So after 10 years of all of this, I went to a doctor in California, and she said, sound like you got HIV. Oh, and I was like, no, I know I don't have that. I've been celibate for 10 years. At this point, I have been celibate for 10 years. Right. She tested me. When I went back there next week, she said, I'm sorry, you tested positive for HIV. And I didn't cry. I was just in shock. I could not move. She gave me the medicine. I had to take one pill a day. I took them for 2 weeks. I went straight into a depression and denial. For 2 years, I did not take medicine. My daughters couldn't get me to go to the doctor. I didn't go. And I ended up having a real bad seizure. Never had seizures in my life. Had a seizure. And they rushed me to the hospital, and they said I was dehydrated, and I had lost a lot of weight. I weighed like 98 pounds, and then I done lost all of this weight over these years. I started losing the weight that I had gained, but I don't know, it just started coming off. But when I got sick, I went all the way down to 98 pounds, and that's when they said you're a dementia. So, because I lost my memory and I couldn't walk and I had to wear the pins, and my daughters, they took over. They were my caregivers, my 2 oldest daughters. They had to feed me, they had to bathe me, they had to wash my hair, they had to comb my hair, they had to brush my teeth. I couldn't even hold a fork. And God is good, because the doctor said I was not going to make it. They told my daughter, prepare yourself for the worst. But my youngest daughter didn't believe it. She kept telling them, Mama's not going to die, because she haven't even done everything that God said that she's going to do. She's not going to die. And I didn't die. So as you see, I didn't die. And I came back. I came back. And people ask me, what did you do because my numbers are undetected. I'm not AIDS anymore. I'm not AIDS positive. I'm HIV positive. So the doctors were shocked. My caseworker was shocked. Everybody was shocked. They was like, that's very rare. Everything that happened to me with this disease, like being in my body for 10 years with no real bad symptoms. I didn't get, when I got something to AIDS, I never got pneumonia. I never got sick. I never had a cold or anything. I just feel normal. Now I do, but when at the beginning of AIDS, that sucked because I had diarrhea. Yeah, every day. That's how I lost the weight, a whole lot of weight. I had diarrhea every day. I lost my appetite. I didn't want to eat. It's just everything that they say that AIDS. I had except for none of those infections that they get, because it's easy to get stuff with AIDS, like cancer. It's easy to get that, like because of your immune system, and my immune system was shot.
Wow, Twana. I wish I was close to you. I'd give you a hug. I'm serious. Oh, my goodness. You have really been through. And then God turned it around. And tell us about how you started writing your stage plays and how you ended up getting 3 superstars, really. And, again, Terry Javon, and I'm sure people remember her from the Steve Harvey Show, Tommy Ford, from Martin Lawrence's show, and then, of course, Robin Givens. Everybody knows Robin Givens. Tell us how that came about.
Well, after I found out I was HIV positive, this guy asked me to write, because some people knew about me, and he asked me if I can write something for him. And, you know, I knew I had this disease, and I didn't tell anybody. I was embarrassed. Like, they said all this stuff that happened to me, they said it was normal, but it didn't seem normal to me. I felt like people were going to shun me and everything. So the guy didn't know that I had it, but I wrote these plays, and I wrote them quick. Like, each play I wrote in like a week, but they took my mind off of what I had. So those were the only plays. It's 3 plays. I wrote them more. I wrote like 5 plays. He did Who Did I Marry? God's Precious Jewels, and there's another one, When a Woman Set Up. So I wrote all 3 of those, and all 3 of those are on Netflix. So when I was doing that, I did that, and then I knew, okay, you got it. So I did that, and then I wrote that. That's when I wrote the screenplay, and the screenplay won 3rd in the L.A. screenwriting contest, and I was shocked, but it placed 3rd, and the name of that screenplay is Solomon Brotherhood. And it's like an inspiration, but it's not really like, it's not a Christian play, but, you know, it say some of the stuff, and it's inspirational. But I wrote that, and then after I stopped, you know, I got sick, and I couldn't write anymore. I didn't know how to work a typewriter or anything, so I didn't write because I was sick. And then when I started getting better, my daughter said, it's time for you to write the book, because it was prophesied like 16, 17 years ago that I was going to write a book that was going to heal the nation. We had no idea what the book was. So, you know, years going past, I forgot all about it. And then that's when my daughter said, it's time for you to write the book. This is the book. And I wrote the book, wrote it in 3 months.
Yeah.
And then it's a 2nd edition. I added some more stuff to the book. It's a different cover. Everything changed. It's so soft looking. It's really nice, and I did it myself. So I published this book. I published myself, the 2nd edition.
Okay. We're down to our last 90 seconds, and so for my listening audience, you can go on Amazon or any online major retailer, and but on Amazon, the Kindle edition for the original My Life is $3.99, and then the 2nd edition is $5.99, and then the paperback is $18.99. So let me ask you this, Twana. Did you want to say something before I ask you my last question?
Well, it's best for them to go, because I don't want people to get confused and order that, because I'm not going to get paid for the 1st edition. I don't know where that, you know, it's a big mix-up with that, but the 2nd edition, I had to take my book back. I had to take control of what's mine, and my life was being stolen from me, and that's, you know, I'm going to be honest about it. And the publisher never paid me, and it sold a lot of books. It sold a lot of books, and he kept my royalties. So, and I didn't get anything, and he knew I was trying to move to New York, and I was devastated. And then this guy said, do a 2nd edition, and he said, the people won't go to the 1st edition, do the 2nd. So I did the 2nd myself, and I published it myself, and I added more stuff in it. It made it much better. It's much better than the 1st edition. and they can go to my website, because then I end up
Okay,
and get you on my website. It's
what's your website, please?
It's mylifeitobiography.com.
Okay, great. Do me a favor. I believe I have that in my notes, but if not, send that to me in an email so that way I can post it on the Author Chat Facebook page, so that way people can go there to buy your book. And let me say this, you're not the first author that I have talked to with this particular publisher that has happened. So for those that are listening, and I'm getting some chat messages on my Author Chat Facebook page, so I want to put this out there because there's a couple of authors that are listening to the show. I am here to help each and every one of you that are interested in publishing your own books, keeping the rights to everything. I publish my books in paperback, ebooks for all the formats, Kindle, Nook, the iBookstore, and then also an audio book. I show you how to do all that, how to set up your account so that way you get your royalty checks. So I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because that's definitely something that I do. When you're ready to write your next book, please contact me. Just like most of these online books publishers, we don't need to be in the same city. I can actually do it right online. Just tell you what you do, have you email me the file. We'll get it all set up. We'll get it definitely professionally edited, published, formatted, and get that set up for you. Twana, believe it or not, our time is up for today. You have been such an inspiration to myself, and I'm sure other women and young ladies that have actually listened to your interview and have probably been through or are going through some of the things that you went through. And look what God brought you out of. And look what he's doing for you. Absolutely, absolutely. So I'm like your daughter. I'm so glad that she told you that it was time for you to go ahead and share your testimony, because always remember, when we've gone through something, just like it states in the Bible, that we actually, people that are dealing with issues are overcome by those issues by the blood of the Lamb and by the power of our testimonies. And that's why I'm so glad, again, that you shared this, because I know so many people, Twana, that have been in similar situations, and they're embarrassed to put it out there. And I always try to encourage them to not think about it on your end, but think about it how it could actually affect and help somebody else heal. So I give you all kudos about getting that book out there. As a matter of fact, I'm going to send you an email, because my book, Invisible Enemies, and I just have to put this out there, my first book, which came out in 2010, Invisible Enemies, was awarded the Book of the Week by Bookworks.com. Bookworks.com is actually the self-publishing arm of Publishers Weekly. And for those that are familiar with Publishers Weekly, this is the weekly magazine, online and in print, that each and every library, bookstore has, that tells you about the books that are out there. So I want to definitely send you the information for Bookworks so that you can submit your book to them as well, because, like I said, you have a very powerful testimony that I think really needs to get out here.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, no, sweetheart, thank you. Thank you so much for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure. Are you working on anything else? Let me ask you that before I let you go.
Yes, a couple of things. I'm going to, like I shared with you, I'm speaking at the NAACP, and I'm working with NAACP, the Health Committee, and I'm speaking at a conference in December, and right now I'm working on my first book from Darkness Says Marvelous Light. I'm doing a second edition of that as well, and I'm going to be selling that, so that's going to be on my website. And I have some more books I've done previously that's going to be second editions. It's going to be on my website because they're my books. So I'm taking everything the devil stole from me back.
There you go. And make sure you make him pay you back sevenfold, according to Proverbs 6. Absolutely. You make sure you send me information about the NAACP when your other books are out, your website, so that way I can promote it for you on my social media networks. Because, again, very, very powerful, powerful testimony. And it just really speaks to your faith and the strength that you have. But again, more so just the faith that you have in God that it's going to be okay. And like where you are now, I'm sure it's a lot better than where you came from. Am I right?
Yes. Yes.
Well,
That's
sweetheart,
true.
again, thanks so much for coming on the show and sharing your book, My Life. And again, for my listening audience, if you'd like to pick up a copy, we're going to actually send you to her website. And tell us again that website, Twana.
MyLifeAutobiography.com.
MyLifeAutobiography.com. So we'll get that. We'll get that on the Author Chat Facebook page and tweet it and put it on our Pinterest account and our Google Plus and really get that out there and see what we can do to get you to the next level, because you have been blessed, and I believe that what you're doing is now going to be able to bless others, okay?
Okay. Thank you.
All righty. No problem. Enjoy your Saturday, and thank you so much for sharing your story on the Author Chat Show.
Okay, you're welcome. Bye.
Bye-bye. Okay, again, that was author Twana Lawler, and she spells her first name Twana. The last name is Lawler. We will be posting her website so you can get the book from her, and I'm so glad. Again, this woman, she is just awesome because she did not hold back anything, and that's what I absolutely love, because information is power. And one of the things that she said at the end of the interview was, you know, I had somebody that I trusted to help me publish this, and they ended up stealing my royalties. This is not the first time that I've heard this guy. Happens all the time. You guys I've been on the air since 2011. Very reputable. I have references. As a matter of fact, I do actually need to send somebody my references, because one of my girlfriends just referred me to her doctor who's writing a book, and he's interested in having me help him with his ebook. So contact me, the authorchatshow@gmail.com, or you can also send me a message on the Author Chat Facebook page, www.facebook.com/authorchat. I'll be more than happy to contact you and tell you what my fees are. They're very reasonable. But the most important thing is your book will be published. It will be published professionally, and boom, you keep all your rights, and boom, you get all of your royalties. Don't be taken advantage of. I believe with everything in me that God has opened up this opportunity for us to get the words out and the things out that he wants us to share with the world. And we want to make sure that what we put out there is the very best possible product that we can. So please email me. Send me a message at the authorchatshow@gmail.com or on my Facebook page at Authors. If you would like to promote your book for free, go to www.facebook.com/authorchat and post your books on there. I set that up exactly for authors. You can put your book cover on there, a little brief synopsis about you, your author bio, a synopsis about your book, your buy links from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Smashwords. Hey, I'm across the board with all that. And again, I do want to remind you guys that when you do self-publish, always remember that there are so many people that also like to listen to audiobooks. So if you would like to, if you've already written a book and you'd like to convert it into an audiobook, go to Amazon.com, put my name in, Lynda, D like David, Brown like the color, Lynda B. Brown, and look for my book, The Author Chat Guide to Converting the Published Book into an Audiobook. It's like $2.99 on the Kindle, and I've gotten great reviews on it. I also have books that will show you how to get your books into the library if you self-publish, and how to promote your book on a shoestring budget. Those are all the ebooks that I've written based on the Author Chat Show and what we do for you here. We are here for you. Thank you so much for joining us today on the Author Chat Show. We will be right back here tomorrow at our regular time, 4 o'clock. We did have to switch it back a little bit because I had a early morning appointment and I wasn't sure exactly what time I would be back. I really hope that you guys really learned a lot from this interview, and always remember, it might look really, really dark right now, but you never know what God has for you if you just hold on. And trust me when I tell you, I'm a living witness. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll catch you back here tomorrow on the Author Chat Show. Enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Goodbye.